all of you that have made it into this secret debriefing. Special secret debriefing. Are you ready for what you're about to hear?
Sure. Yeah.
You like didn't even know what it is, but you're ready. I like it. Okay. Bill, are we good or?
We're good there.
Okay.
Yeah. Please stand by.
Oh, do I say something before it plays?
Yeah.
Oh, we're still getting set up, so I apologise for getting you all excited for absolutely no reason. We're getting there. So who's the furthest travelled agent today, I wonder? Where are you from, sir?
Dominican Republic.
Legend!
Nice.
Thank you for being here. Is this the first anomaly that you've been to, or?
No, one is my third.
Third? Where else have you been?
I've been to Phileas in Sacramento and Barcelona in Santo Domingo.
Oh, cool. And so that we've got a winner. Anyone else from further in the Dominican Republic? No? Wish we had a prize for you, because it's very impressive. Are there anyone from, is there anyone from Operation Essex here today?
Right here.
Ah, look at all of y'all! Brilliant. And are you based here in Austin?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay, cool.
Forward.
Thank you for travelling here. We've got some juicy info for you guys.
What's that? I was hoping I'd run into you. Huh? I was hoping I'd run into you. Yeah, but they had a blocking device with it. It turned out I had a camera here.
Bang. There you go.
It was very handy. And unfortunately, nobody exists because I submitted it the second.
Here's a question for you. Who was here at the first Austin Anomaly 2 years back? Oh man, like what, 5 of you? And can somebody tell me how it has, what's different from the one now?
Everything's warmer.
Everything?
It's a lot warmer, it's drier.
Yeah, that sounded pretty brutal. But everything's changed for the better, do you reckon?
The rules are a lot more complex.
They are indeed.
Keeps it interesting.
Yes. What would you like to see?
I really don't know. They brought filming back, and that was really cool.
Yeah. There is filming right now, or there isn't?
They made it.
Oh, that's the thing that you
They
have.
made it worth a lot of that.
Yeah.
For filming.
Yeah.
Since I was here from the original, that was always been one of our faction's strong suits. So I was nice to see that sport pushed back in.
Right. And yeah.
Wow.
I love it. What would people like to see on the Ingress report? That's a question for you.
I want to see what happened to Penfield Wild. Whatever happened to him?
To who?
Whatever happened to Penfield Wild? The guy who did the glyphs, and then Ada did something to him, and I don't know what happened to him.
That's a good. We need to figure that out.
Yeah, I gotta see what happened to him.
Good point. I don't know. Sorry. Yeah. We get that a lot in the interviews, so yeah, amazing.
Yeah, traveling the world.
Where is the farthest you've travelled for Ingress?
I was started in Vancouver, British Columbia. I flew down to LA and drove from LA to Charleston, South Carolina to see Anomaly.
That's incredible.
Nice.
Newfoundland for Ingress.
Wow.
You went where?
To Newfoundland.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, that's incredible.
I know, it's one of those things.
I've had people say, yeah, I'll get a passport and travel for Ingress. Well, you can't just do it anyway, but it's great that Ingress makes you. Okay, are we good? Okay, so over the last few months, we've learned a number of disturbing facts. Now, there's an ancient cult called the Anti-Magnus, which is led by a woman named Jahan. I'm sure you've seen many videos by her. She's obtained a powerful artifact known as the Shonin Stone. Now, according to some, the Shonin Stone exists in all dimensions at once, and it was witness to the birth of the universe. Jahan intends to use the stone's power in combination with the resistance activity at today's anomaly to conduct a ritual that will summon a trans-dimensional force known as the Nazir. Now, some weeks ago, Jahan took both Hank Johnson and Asmati captive. She needed them to lend her an ancient portal, she needed them to lead her to the ancient portal in Afghanistan, where Hank's body rests. Now this site may represent the most powerful portal we currently know of, and Jahan is hoping to tear down barriers around the world that were created thousands of years ago by the Shapers and an ancient Egyptian cult known as the 13 Magnus. Now she believes that destroying these barriers will allow the Nazir, another voice that once spoke to us using exotic matter and the portals, to return to our world. So that's the mission she's on. Now Hank Johnson once called the Nazir the Shaper's worst nightmare, and Jahan claims that they will bring forth a new era in human consciousness, a Darsana point. As for me, I don't know yet what this all means. Now I had planned to run a Shonen Intel briefing to cover all of this in some depth, but in the last few moments we received a video which you're about to watch, and I'm seeing this with you for the first time. So Bill, when you're ready, you can play that video.
We knew there would be consequences for allowing the resistance to reach the Darsana point, but we didn't know what they would be. We knew that the beacons would draw the Nazir, but we felt safe, because the 13 Magnus portal, where Hank Johnson's body lies, blocked their ingress into our world. But the resistance was stronger than we had expected, and Anti-Magnus was craftier than we thought. They led Hank Johnson into an insidious trap, clouding his thoughts, and for the first time, we saw the Shonen Stone. They lured Deborah Bogdanovich into unleashing the XM inoculation on herself. They tried to destroy her, but she survived, perhaps to undo the destruction she wrought. And they reduced our leader, Roland Jarvis, to a shadow of himself, passing the torch to me, his acolyte. Everything rests on what happens at the 13 Magnus nest in Afghanistan.
Okay. Update me. At 22:30, Jahan, Hank Johnson, Esmati, and 4 guards into the anomaly site. We detected several other teams in the area and issued a stand-down order.
I know about Glass and Linton Wolf.
Also present were Hubert Farlow and Deborah Bogdanovich. We believe Farlow was attempting to take out Jahan. We hacked his scope images.
Farlow stood down.
When directed to do so by Bogdanovich.
What is the current status?
These images are from Bogdanovich's camera.
Give me the overhead. Let me see the XM filter. Same as always. It appears that Jahan's shown us how we can hang out.
It looks like... What the hell is that? We've got interference. Director Count, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello, Hank. I'm sorry things had to end this way. But I knew what my fate was when I started this journey. And I have no regrets. This is the only way to foil Anti-Magnus. My life is a small price to pay for this. I have always been destined to be the leader of 13 Magnus. Goodbye, my friend.
You see the waves, I see the water.
Sure what to make of this, but it seems like we're ushering a new era into the world of Ingress. Now I'd love it if you could share what we've just learned with all the other investigators around the world, and so that we can piece together exactly what's been happening. To summarise, we know that Jahan activated the Shonen Stone inside the 13 Magnus nest, the same nest where Hank Johnson's body lies. It appears that Deborah Bogdanovich has just disappeared, and Asmati's life is in question. And we finally met the acolyte that was at Roland Jarvis's side all this time. Now I have some questions with you. It'd be great if we can get a discussion going about this. Who thinks that Deborah Bogdanovich has just disappeared? Or did she happen to undergo some sort of recursion similar to what happened to Hank Johnson? what are the implications of that? Thoughts?
Maybe every sensitive has some sort of attribute to them, like Hank Johnson, in the sense that they become entangled.
Right. And what did we... Bill, do you want people to come up when we're having this thing? So I'm just worried about...
Sure.
Yeah, do you want to just jump up and say that? Because we won't be able to use it for anything.
Certainly. Yes.
So if you grab this quick.
Certainly, thank you.
One question we've had for quite some time is, what is the nature of a sensitive? The people involved in the Niantic project, it resembles, in a sense, many sorts of groups throughout history. 13 apostles. And in many ways that these kinds of mystical groups have been sort of a constant. And the question is, what is the fate of these people? We know that Hank Johnson is a simulacrum. We know that he's not actually a living person, but he recurs. And the question is what happened to everyone on Epiphany Night? Were they patterned? Did they become something different from what they are? And maybe with what's happening in Afghanistan, we're going to learn exactly what their nature is, because they're at quite a point where, certainly based on 13 Magnus rituals, we will learn a lot about the nature of those people who have been exposed to XM at those levels.
So you think that potentially, so Deborah Bogdanovich is in the similar fate, is sharing similar fate to Hank Johnson?
That's possible. I do know that it's everyone who was involved in the Niantic project had a great deal of XM exposure all at once. And I think that Ezekiel Calvin was attempting to create a sort of synthetic epiphany that resembled many sorts of mystical experiences throughout history. And I think this pattern is something where people who are exposed to XM are changed, and their patterns are unrecognizable afterwards. So the Deborah Bogdanovich that entered the room and was exposed to the release of the Power Cube may not even be the same person anymore.
Thank you. The next question I wanted to ask you is, what are we to make of the arrival of the woman calling herself the Acolyte? Is Roland Jarvis truly dead? Can he even die? Is there anyone that could share their thoughts on that? Anybody? Anyone? Who do we think this Acolyte is? Yes, do you want to jump over, if you want to come up? So yeah, the question is, what do we make of this woman? Is Roland Jarvis truly dead? Can he even die?
My thoughts on it, how do we know she's the actual Acolyte? She presented no credentials. She said, I'm Acolyte. Well, I could say I could go into garage and say I'm a car, but that doesn't make me a car. So how do we know she's Acolyte? Maybe she's working with the Shapers? Maybe she's some kind of what's the word? I'm very tired. Maybe she's some kind of operative for the Nazir. Or maybe it's a completely new path we don't even know about yet.
Well, say we find evidence that she is. Why, what do you think about the fate of Roland Jarvis?
Maybe he's gone, maybe he's not. I don't know. You know, but that's just it's the fact that she shows up and starts saying, "Hey, look, I'm the Acolyte. We've never seen her before." There's something suspicious about that.
Do you feel there needs to be some kind of evidence or investigation into her and her claims?
Well, yeah. Like I said, anybody can say there's something. It doesn't mean God.
And then finally, what do we think of Asmarty and Hank Johnson? Is Asmarty dead? Did he sacrifice himself? It seemed like a pretty honest video there. Did Hank Johnson survive? And if so, in what form? Anybody, their thoughts on Asmarty and Hank Johnson and what we know about the fate of them? Yeah, come on over. Thank you. Liking the Helios.
Well, it seems that Hank Johnson can't really die unless his body is destroyed, so his fate, unless his body was destroyed in the explosion, or whatever happened, it seems pretty clear that Asmarty sacrificed himself to stop whatever was happening, but the thing is, it's really unclear if he even did stop it, or if it was too late, or if there's another way for Jahan to continue with her plan.
So what do you think? Do you think she Do you think she succeeded or not?
With what happened summoning, I don't think she did. I think that it's been delayed because of the explosion. Whether or not this will stop her permanently, it's hard to say.
Thank you so much to all of you agents here today. I believe there'll be quite a bit of information and intel being released in the coming weeks, and of course we will keep you updated with any developments on the Ingress report. So thank you all again. Congratulations on being here, and thanks.
Thank you, Susanna. Thank you all for coming. We're going to ask for you to proceed to the exit so we can try to get another group up as well. Thank you again for completing the mission.